hitter out of the stretch deals. Swinging a line drive, deep right center field, out toward that wall. It is gone! A missile into right center field, a 2-run home run, and history. Number 253 for Pete Alonso, all alone as the franchise leader in home runs. And listen to this crowd, everybody on their feet.
That was Keith Rad on Odyssey 880 Mets Radio Network with the call of Pete Alonso's 253rd home run. He tacked another one on to make it 254 later in the game, and the Mets had an onslaught of offense as they beat the Braves 13-5 in the first game of three here at Citi Field, and the Mets caught a break. The Phillies lost. The Reds beat them 6-1, and the Mets are just like that, and now 5 games out and feel better. You got to feel better about things now. But first and foremost, congratulations, Pete Alonso. He passes Darryl Strawberry on the Mets all-time home run list. And you see these numbers back here behind me. He is pretty much guaranteed that he will have number 20 up there one day when it's all said and done. But for now, he is the all-time Mets home run leader. It kind of dragged out a little bit, right? He tied it in Milwaukee over the weekend. He hit it tonight. He hit the wall on his first at bat in the second inning, leading off the second inning. And then he came up in the 8th inning against the shortstop who the Braves put into pitch, Williams. And he hit one that went about 3/4 of the way up the upper deck, but it was foul. So he could have had 4 home runs tonight. He didn't, though. He had 2. And the Mets made up for the rest of it with in spades, because you had Álvarez with 2 home runs, Nimmo with a big home run, Baty with a home run, and the Mets just kind of teed off on Spencer Strider and the rest of that Braves pitching staff, and they win 13-5. They get 16 hits. Finally, you feel a little better, right? Because they haven't been hitting. And as much as we know the pitching is a problem, and it was a problem again tonight with Clay Holmes, but the offense is what they needed to get going, because this is an offensive team. They're going to win with their offense. They're not going to win, 2-1 games too often. And they needed the offense to get going, and these guys broke out in a big way. Every Mets starter got at least a hit. You had Nimmo with 3 RBIs, Alonso with 3 RBIs, Álvarez with 4 RBIs, and that could be the most important thing, is Álvarez and Nimmo getting back on hitting again, because they were really struggling. Nimmo has been struggling along a long time. He had a big 3-run home run tonight. I think the biggest hit of the game was the Nimmo home run to put the Mets back up after the Braves came back and tied it at 5. Nimmo got up there, and I think it was the very next inning, and hit a monster 3-run home run, and a huge home run, because even after the whole Alonso stuff, and he did his curtain calls, and he got his congratulations from his teammates, the Mets went out there. Clay Holmes gave it right back in like 10 minutes. And it was, before you know it, in the blink of an eye, it was 5-5, and we were right back where we were for the past 2 weeks. We got a lead. We blew the lead. The pitching stinks. Clay Holmes got pulled. He got booed off the field. Clay Holmes was terrible. And that's an issue. Like, Clay Holmes can't start again anymore. He can't be in this rotation. They're going to have to redo the rotation on the fly here in late August, which is not easy to do. It's not something you want to do. But Clay Holmes, I mean, these guys are going 3 innings, 3 2/3, 5 runs, 6 hits, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. Terrible. And he got it, and he was staked to a 5-1 lead, and he gave it back like that. Came out the next inning after everything with the Pete Alonso and the celebration and the just feeling good about it, because the Mets just built them up 5-1 lead. You figured this might be an easy one. Turned out it was. But after that top of the 4th inning, it wasn't, because it was 5-5, and then the Mets bullpen came in, and give them credit. I told you the Mets have a good bullpen. They just got to get to the bullpen. The bullpen can't be doing this every night, putting 18 outs together. Soto came in. He struggled a bit, but he was all right. He ended up getting the win. And then Hageman pitched real well. He pitched 4 innings. Walked 1, 5 strikeouts, no runs. Hageman was real good. And then again, like I said, the offense just exploded, and they teed off on the Braves pitching. And by the time you hit the 8th inning, the Braves had their shortstop pitching, and Alonso coming up and just licking his chops trying to hit one about 600 feet, which he did. He just hit one foul about 600 feet. But the Mets get back on the winning ways. The losing streak is over. You hope that maybe now that they find themselves here and they can go on a little bit of a roll and get back in this division race. Phillies aren't going to win every day. They lost tonight. The Reds are a decent team. Now, if you could do it tomorrow and you could get the Phillies to lose again tomorrow, now all of a sudden you're 4 games back, and then you're right back in it. Right now at 5, this was a step. This was a big step. A step they needed to take was to just break out. Right? You hope they didn't use it all up tonight. 13 runs, 16 hits. Everything was going right. But you got to remember the Braves thing though too. The Braves are not a good team, but you had home runs galore. And the scoreboard at one point actually said, "We've run. If there's more home runs, there will be no more fireworks because we have run out of fireworks." So, and true story, not true story, I don't know. But that's what it said on the screen, on the scoreboard. And I think the 7th inning, because the Braves brought their shortstop into pitch, and the Mets were just licking their chops, getting ready to face him. Alonso came up in the 8th to try and hit a 3rd home run. He was trying, and he ended up flying out to left field. But good win. There was noticeably empty seats in the upper deck, which I wasn't really surprised about because this team has not played well. Right? They have 2 wins since the trade deadline, both of them at home. But when they went away and got swept in that series and come back now 6 games out of the division, a division that they led the whole year, and now there were some empty seats. And it's the first time really, I guess, all season that I was able to notice decently sized patches of empty seats in the upper deck. It was a lively crowd. They cheered their ass off for Alonso when he hit the home run, and then he hit the 2nd home run. But the biggest hit in this game was Nimmo, because the Braves came back and tied it, and you could feel the nervousness in the building. They booed Clay Holmes off the mound, and you could just feel the tension because here we go again. Even on Pete Alonso's big night, on his special night, we passed the Strawberry, we're going to blow it because our pitching stinks. And Soto came in, and he pitched an inning and a 3rd. No runs. He walked a bit of a tightrope there a little bit. He loaded the bases, got out of it. And then Hageman comes in, and he pitches 4 just really good innings to get the Mets to the finish line. And, they made it a little bit easy with the way they were hitting and the way they were just teeing off on the Braves. I mean, the Braves pitching is a disaster. I'm going to bring it up right here. But the Braves, they had Spencer Strider pitched 4 innings, 8 runs, 8 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Then Cox came in, 2 2/3, 5 runs and 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. And then, of course, Williams came in, and he did the shortstop. Williams came in, and he got an inning and a 3rd and 2 hits and no runs. So Spencer Strider, really, the Mets just teed off on him. And the Braves left him in there, 8 runs. They came back, tied this thing at 5, and I'm telling you, it was you could feel the tension in the building because it was here we go again. Clay Holmes has hit a wall. It's clear, very obvious. The Clay Holmes Montas thing didn't work. Okay, this is what we were worried about at the beginning of the season with Clay Holmes. You knew he was a decent pitcher, but he just hasn't been in the starting rotation, and he hasn't pitched anywhere near the amount of innings he was going to pitch this year. And we all said that maybe he runs into a wall at some point, and he did. And it happened about, a month ago. And again, the Mets waited a little too long to let it go, and it cost them some wins. But I can't imagine you're going to see Clay Holmes in this get another start. I think now maybe the Mets have to get creative when it comes to the pitching and how they're going to get through these games, because as much as you say, oh, the starters got to go longer, they got to go 6, we got to get them, we got some length, they're just not doing it. Minaya can't give you 6. Senga can't give you 6. Peterson will give you 6. But then Clay Holmes, and I'm telling you, that Sproat and and McClain are not going to come up here and pitch 7 2-hit, 1-run 2-hit games. It's just not going to happen. It's just, I mean, I guess it can, but realistically, that's not going to happen. They can't be your saviors. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to get a little creative. Maybe Clay Holmes goes 3 innings. Maybe you bring Minaya for 3, Holmes for 3, and then you get to the back end of your bullpen where your real strength is in that bullpen, and you just kind of piece it together. You make it work. Because you're not going to get 6 innings and 7 innings out of these guys day after day. And you have to just come to that realization and get creative and just put it together and figure it out. But the hitting is crucial, and it's crucial that they finally came out of this slump where they were all in. I mean, every Met in the lineup got a hit. Lindor even got a hit. 1 for 4 for Lindor. Soto, 1 for 4. So those two, listen, they got to get going, but I think they will. I still don't like how Soto just dogs it down to first. I mean, he hits a ground ball to short or to second, and he is just, it's almost like a fast walk the way he gets down there, and he barely even makes it 3/4 of the way down, and the ball's there, and he's out. And I get it. He's not going to run every time, but it's not a good look. Especially, when he's not having the year that everybody wanted him to have and thought he would have. It's just not a good look. So Soto, Lindor, they did get a hit, 1 for 4 each. Nimmo, 2 for 5. Alonso, 3 for 5. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Every Met did not get a hit. McNeil did not get a hit. 0 for 4 for McNeil. Marte, 2 for 5. Even Cedric Mullins, 2 for 5 with an RBI. So, and Álvarez, of course, 3 for 4. He had 4 RBIs in the game. Álvarez with a big game. Baty hit a home run. And Álvarez's shots were like those shots he was hitting last year. Bombs. He hit it in the first inning. He hit a 2-run homer. Mets had the lead after they trailed 1-0. Then they came back and they got 3 in the second. And away they went, and then they had a 5-1 lead after Alonso hit the home run, and you thought, okay, it's just gonna be a nice, easy cruise. We could celebrate Alonso today, and because Clay Holmes just dropped the ball right in the next inning, it became a nail biter, and that's when the Mets got the biggest hit of the game, and it was Nimmo's 3-run home run, because that gave them breathing room, and then the Mets just didn't look back from there. Everybody hit after that, and the Mets walk away with a 13-5 win. And the Phillies lose. So now the Mets are 5 back. Striking distance, definitely striking distance. There's still a month plus to go. There's still, I think, like 35 games that the Mets get to play. But we can't see Clay Holmes anymore in the starting rotation. I don't think Clay Holmes is done because he did pitch well this year. I think Clay Holmes could give you 3 innings in like a long situation when your starter only goes 4. And then Holmes comes in, gives you 3, gets you to the back end of the bullpen. Like I said, they're going to have to be creative because they just don't have the staff that pitches 6 and 7 innings. You're going to get it once every 5 days from Peterson, and he hasn't been great in the last 2 starts either. Tomorrow is game 2 of this 3-game series, and the Mets are throwing Peterson. So tomorrow you should get the 6 or 7 innings. And he's going up against Carrasco, who's 2-2, 6.18 ERA. Peterson, 7-5. He pitches very well at Citi Field. It's important that the Mets get another win tomorrow. Put a little pressure on the Phillies. Because the Phillies have one more game. They have a 5-10 start in Cincinnati, so that game will be almost over by the time the Mets game starts. And hopefully, for the Mets' sake, the Phillies, Cincinnati gets it going, wins, because that's a series where, okay, Cincinnati's chasing the Mets for the wild card. Mets are chasing the Phillies. Put some pressure on the Phillies. And the Phillies are going to, try and do the same with the Mets. They're ready to kick dirt on the Mets. If you read some of the stuff from Philly, the papers and the headlines, the Phillies want to come here next week and kick dirt on the Mets and end it. Bury the Mets for good. The Mets can get a good 6-game homestand here where they go 5-1, 4-2. You'd like to go 5-1, but 4-2 you'll take because you got the Seattle coming in, and Seattle's a good team. And you just you got to get back to winning series. And you got to get back to playing well at home. Mets have played well at home the whole season. They've hit this skid, and now, hopefully, now you got everybody hitting. Mets haven't had everybody hitting at all. They haven't been clicking on all cylinders at any point during the season. Because remember, in the beginning, the pitching was good. Then the hitting, then Soto picked it up a little bit. He carried them for a month, but when Soto was hitting, Alonso and Lindor and none of them were hitting. So at no point in this season, and then the pitching hit the tank again. So at no point in this season have the Mets had it all going offensively and pitching. I don't think they're going to get the pitching going, but the bullpen's going to be good. And if the Mets can get to that bullpen and they can be creative to get there, then, hey, they're going to have a shot and they're going to be right in it with the Phillies. So Mets win tonight 13-5. They crack out 16 hits. Alonso with 2 home runs, including passing Darryl Strawberry with his 253rd and 254th home run. You have Nimmo hits a home run. Álvarez hits 2 home runs. Baty hits a home run. It was just home run derby at Citi Field tonight, and they were hitting them, and balls were leaving the park all over the place. And luckily, they were coming off the Mets' bats. So big night for Pete Alonso. Congratulations again to Pete Alonso, as he's the Mets' all-time leader in home runs as he passes Darryl Strawberry. He now has 254 home runs and counting. We'll see if he signs with the Mets, if he extend, it might not be much time left with Pete. Mets have a good first baseman down in AAA now. And are they going to want to pay Pete all that money? I don't know. He's certainly a fan favorite. He got curtain calls all night, standing ovations all night, well-deserved. And he had a big night, so good for Pete. He had a big, big night on his night where he became the Mets' all-time home run leader, passing Darryl Strawberry. So, most importantly, the Mets get a win. And again, trouble with the staff. Clay Holmes got to go. He can't be starting any more games. He just can't. He might be an asset you could use in the bullpen. I don't think Montas is going to be an asset you really use in the bullpen. I think Montas is going to be in blowout games just to eat up some innings. Clay Holmes, I think he's going to have to go to the bullpen, and I think he could be an asset in the bullpen because that's what he does. That's what he's done forever. But now he hit a wall. It's not that he's a bad pitcher. He just hit a wall. He's pitched 2 more innings than he's ever pitched, and he's just tired. And that's it. And I think you could build that up a little bit, put him out there for 2-3 innings when your starter doesn't go long, and you could capitalize, and you could use him as an asset. So that's going to do it for us. Mets, 13-5 winners out at Citi Field. Big night offensively. Big night for Pete Alonso. That does it for us. Tomorrow, 7:10, Mets Braves. Peterson on the mound for the Mets, trying to make it 2 in a row as they try and creep a little bit closer to the Phillies. They are now 5 games out. So from the Brian Gunzel Studios, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. You can find us at lockedupsports.net. Find all the links at lockedupsports.net/follow. And you can get us on any social media, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast. We're all over the place. Just type in Locked Up Sports. You'll find us. That does it for me. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.